What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video, and today we have a video from Screenrant. And I know Screenrant, I get their, they get a bad rep sometimes, but hear them out. So they have this video on their channel called How the Star Wars Sequels Should Have Looked. And in this video, they pretty much explain how George Lucas's sequel trilogy would have looked like. So let's check it out, and we'll see if it was a good idea or a bad idea, because I heard some stuff of this in the past, but I never really took like a deep dive into it. So hopefully Screenrant can do that for me here. So let's check it out.
In October of 2020, Lucasfilm's creative executive and member of the Lucasfilm Story Group, Pablo Hidalgo, released Star Wars Fascinating Facts, Story, Lore, and History from the Greatest Galaxy, a compendium of hundreds of facts about all 9 episodes, from behind-the-scenes on-set tidbits to stories about how the tale of Star Wars was created. And in December of this year, Paul Duncan's The Star Wars Archives, 1999 to 2005, is an archival book detailing information from the Star Wars prequel trilogy, illustrated with script pages, production documents, concept art, storyboards, on-set photography, stills, and posters. Now, what got our attention was that both of these books contain interviews with George Lucas, and in these interviews, he shares what he intended to do with the sequels, including Darth Maul as the main villain, Luke training younglings, and delving deeper into the wills. Dive into these particular juicy details, we will. Yes. So first, the big baddie of the proposed Star Wars sequels is your favorite horn-headed, double-bladed, lightsaber-yielding, back-flipping Sith Lord, Darth Maul. In his interview with Paul Duncan, Lucas states, Episodes 7, 8, and 9 would take ideas from what happened after the Iraq War. Okay, you fought the war, you killed everybody, now what are you going to do? Rebuilding afterwards is harder than starting a rebellion or fighting the war. When you win the war and you disband the opposing army, what do they do? The stormtroopers would be like Saddam Hussein's Ba'athist fighters that joined ISIS and kept on fighting. The stormtroopers refuse to give up when the Republic win. They want to be stormtroopers forever, so they go to a far corner of the galaxy, start their own country and their own rebellion. And there's a power vacuum, so gangsters like the Hutts are taking advantage of the situation, and there is chaos.
Which would make sense.
That
makes sense.
Darth Maul, who had been resurrected in the Clone Wars. He brings all the gangs together, but he's very old. Darth Maul trained a girl, Darth Talon, who was in the comic books as his apprentice. Wow, Darth Talon. Okay, let's check her out. And
Okay.
Hey, can someone please get Darth Talon a robe? She's going to be pretty cold on an ice planet.
That's not a bad idea. I actually like that. I like the idea of Darth Talon kind of being a bigger character. She was one of the coolest characters from the Star Wars Legacy comics. Yeah, why not? See what she could have done. She definitely would have been a good, I guess you could say, successor to Maul. So, hey, whatever.
Anyway, let's continue. Darth Talon was the new Darth Vader, and most of the action was with her. So, Darth Maul and Darth Talon were the 2 main villains of the trilogy. Maul eventually becomes the godfather
They do look
of
pretty
crime
dope
in the
together.
universe, because as the Empire falls, he takes over. Darth Maul is the godfather of crime in the universe, so he'd be making offers you can't refuse, because he'd use the Force, so you can't refuse them. Okay, Lucas continues. The movies are about how Leia, who else is going to be the leader, is trying to build the Republic. They still have the apparatus of the Republic, but they have to get it under control from the gangsters. That was the main story. It starts out a few years after Return of the Jedi, and we establish pretty quickly that there's this underworld. There are these offshoot stormtroopers who started their own planets, and that Luke is trying to restart the Jedi. He puts the word out, so out of 100,000 Jedi, maybe 50 or 100 are left. Now, these are survivors from Order 66, according to Hidalgo's book. The Jedi have to grow again from scratch, so Luke has to find 2- and 3-year-olds and train them. It'll be 20 years before you have a new generation of Jedi. By the end of the trilogy, Luke would have rebuilt much of the Jedi, and we would have the renewal of the New Republic with Leia, Senator Organa, becoming the Supreme Chancellor in charge of everything. So she ended up being the chosen one.
Okay, so far this is a lot better than the Disney trilogy. I'm just going to say it. This story sounds so much more fun and entertaining to watch and not broken. why couldn't they have just did this? I don't know.
Stop right there. Leia? The chosen one? This definitely brings up that old argument of who truly brought balance to the Force. So, according to George Lucas...
Oh, wait. Leia's the chosen one? Nah, Anakin is. That's just how it is. I don't care what anyone says. Anakin's the chosen one.
Annie. No, don't get all emotional.
Oh,
Nope.
I hate you.
Anakin, Vader, the chosen
That's
one.
better.
That's the way it is.
Now, are you
I don't
ready
care
to
what
talk
anyone says.
about midichlorians?
What are midichlorians?
The midichlorians, your favorite Star Wars sentient and microscopic organism, which could totally kick COVID's ass.
Yeah, midichlorians, like, it's just a scientific reason to explain why the Force is the Force, you know, like, or how people use the Force. I think it's fine. A lot of people really hate midichlorians. I have said since the beginning that I do not care. It's really not that big of a deal. You know, like I said, it's just the scientific version of explaining how people use the Force. Right? So why does it matter? You know, there can still be the mystical reason. You know, there can be the scientific reason. You know, you could see at this point where, like, a tsunami could come and annihilate an entire town. Some might be like, oh, it was God's, you know, doing. And others would be like, oh, it was because of science. You know, that's all it is, you know. So that's the way it goes. So you know.
In the proposed sequels, Lucas expanded on midichlorians and the Wills. The Wills are a microscopic, single-celled life form like amoeba, fungi, and bacteria. There's something like 100,000 times more Wills than there are midichlorians. And there are about 10,000 times more midichlorians than there are human cells. Okay, this sounds a little complicated, like something out of Avatar. If only we could get someone like James Cameron to help clarify. Oh, look, James Cameron did an interview with George Lucas on AMC back in 2018, which Lucas states the next 3 Star Wars films were going to get into a microbiotic world. There's this world of creatures that operate differently than we do. We call them the Wills. And the Wills are the ones who actually control the universe. They feed off the Force, and the conduit is the midichlorians. The midichlorians are the ones that communicate with the Wills. The Wills, in a general sense, are the Force. Ooh, that's some THX 1138 Stanley Kubrick, Christopher Nolan mind-blowing.
Okay, never mind. I mean, you know what? Like, up until that point, I really thought this was the better sequel trilogy. But I think, like, I'm not against explaining the Wills. I just kind of feel like that's a little too over the top. So, I don't know. Maybe I'll feel different by the end of this video.
Stuff there, George.
Something, isn't it?
I don't know.
Yes, it is.
These Star Wars sequels sound deep and thought-provoking, with massive world building. It would be a shame if somebody,
Disney-fied
big, powerful company made 3 sequels that were just, I don't know, carbon copies of episode 4, 5, and 6. What do you think, George?
You know, they wanted to do a retro movie. I don't like that. Every movie I worked very hard to make them different. I make them completely different with, you know, different planets, with different spaceships.
But is Disney really the ones we should be blaming for the sequels?
Yes.
Didn't the fans already sound off on their dislike of the prequels, resulting in Lucas questioning why he should continue the franchise at all? Were we,
Maybe,
the Star Wars fans, too hard on George Lucas? I mean, after all,
Kinda.
It's his movies. It's his world. Here's just a little bit more of what George Lucas said during his interview with James Cameron. If I'd held on to the company, I could have done it. And then it would have been done. Of course, a lot of fans would have hated it. I hate to say it, but us fans being so hard on the prequels and being hard on George Lucas, did we get the sequels we deserve?
The original trilogy supremacists. Here's the truth.
Okay.
Here's the truth. Okay? I'm just going to say this right now. You know who ruined Star Wars? The original trilogy supremacists. They are the ones who are at the problem here. It's their fault. If it wasn't for you guys complaining as much as you did about the prequels and not just accepting them as what they are and accepting them as the vision of George Lucas and being like making a big deal out of these movies that later on is actually not too bad now that we look back at them, we wouldn't have had Disney pulling that crap. In fact, George Lucas might have not even sold his property. So you know what? I blame original trilogy supremacists. It's all your fault. So you can't be mad at Disney. You know, you guys cannot be mad at Disney. You cannot be mad at George Lucas. It's your fault for doing it. So that's the way it is. That's the truth.
Maybe that's a little harsh. And to be fair, it looked
Sorry.
like Disney
The way it
did
is.
use a few of the ideas Lucas outlined. According to Pablo Hidalgo's book, there was a story of a 14-year-old girl who, from the beginning, was on a quest to become a Jedi Knight. That girl, named Taryn, would eventually become Rey. Luke did train Jedis, but they, along with Luke's Jedi Temple, were destroyed. Thank you very much, Ben Solo. Have fun being solo with your abs and your baby fits.
Hang on a second. Kylo doesn't have abs. He's got pecs for days, baby. He can't do his sit-up to save his life. But he can bench. So, that's the way it goes.
And it also appears, no matter what fans wanted, Luke Skywalker would not escape his destiny and die in the trilogy.
I'm okay with that. Everyone is okay with Luke passing on because it makes sense. He's getting older. He should pass on the knowledge. That's fine. Luke can pass away. All of them can pass away. It's the fact that he died because reasons. He died not becoming the Luke Skywalker we know. And you could say, well, what he did was, very well, it took a lot of force power out of him. So in order to save everybody else, he had to sacrifice himself. But we never really see a point where that makes sense. And it just, I'm not going to turn this to a video about me complaining about The Last Jedi because it can easily turn into that, but I'm not going to do that. So I refuse. Nice try, Screen Rant. Not going to happen.
Now,
it's not.
imagine if Disney had kept Darth Talon. How awesome would it have been to see a fight between Darth Talon and Rey in the climactic battle?
That would look pretty cool.
How awesome would it have been to see a fight between Luke Skywalker and Darth Maul?
That would
We
be pretty
know
cool
that
too.
Lucas was heavily involved in Disney Clone Wars and brought Darth Maul back to life. So it's no wonder all this information makes sense. Maybe Disney considered doing more with Lucas's original treatment, as Darth Maul did show up in Solo, but because of, once again, fan backlash, we may not be able to find out what happens on that one either. But see, with filmmakers like Dave Filoni and Jon Favreau, and what they've brought to the Star Wars universe with The Mandalorian, we might just get to see George Lucas's original treatment become a reality one day. Disney, hey, look, if you need proof, just look at what's going on with The Mandalorian. It's the
Yep.
Star Wars fans have been looking for since Return of the Jedi. It reminds us of the expanded universe. With now the appearance of Ahsoka Tano in The Mandalorian, anything is possible. Darth Maul may have died fighting Obi-Wan, but, he could come back to life. Maybe we'll all get lucky and get another Disney Plus show
Maul died, but he can come back again. I mean, that's the truth. That's what happened earlier. Why not do it again?
about Darth Maul coming
Why
back
not?
from the dead and walking around
Darth
with a
Maul and
baby
Baby
Jabba.
Jabba. Oh, that'd be
Darth
cute.
Maul and the Baby Jabba, every Thursday on Disney Plus.
So there you go, guys. I kind of talked a lot over this video, but overall, while the Wills part of that kind of threw me off a little bit, overall, it's the better sequel trilogy, and it was only like a 10-minute video. Oh man, I just think that's one of the things with the sequel trilogy for me, and I've said this since it got finished. It's the fact that it was undercooked. The people in charge did not respect the property enough, and the people who were running it in the background did not have a plan, and that just you can just tell. So that's the way it's got to be. So thank you guys for watching. If you guys find any videos that you want to see me react to and give my thoughts on, let me know in the comments below. Go ahead and link them down below. If I used your video, I'll give you a shout out in that video. So thanks again for watching, guys, and please remember to like, subscribe, and turn notifications for more, and I'll catch you guys next time. Peace.